Dr. Schroed, can you hear us okay?
I had a question.
That's a big delay. Yeah.
She is. Oh. Sugar forget.
Oh. Right, I did have a. Okay. Well, no, because they're attached. Talk about.
We can still just, we can still. Talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I updated that, shoot.
I got something. Randy needs us to say.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Amend.
We can amend and pull it from the separate.
I don't. I don't,
Okay,
we
let's
need
see.
to, as long as it's, I guess my only concern is like, as long as it's good as it.
There's a David, can you hear us? David, can you hear us?
Looks like he can, but we're not hearing him now.
We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's muted. There we go.
Okay.
Make the changes. Okay. That's fine.
Move that to action items, and we can go through each one.
Okay,
That way if you want,
sure.
so you'll have to, well, it's either that or you're gonna have to take it as it is and accept the recommendation that are listed there. We good? All right, good evening, everybody. I will call the meeting to the Charles City Community School District to order at 5:35 p.m. Roll call, please.
President Kebrick,
Here.
Vice President Mack,
Here.
Board Member Dr. Schroed,
Here.
Board Member Fox, here, Board Member Yeager.
Reading of the district commission and vision statement. Catherine Fox.
Our mission to challenge all students to achieve their full potential through engaging, responsive educational experiences that inspire innovation, critical thinking, and collaboration. Our vision to develop learners who are competent, compassionate problem solvers.
You can move on to approval or amendment of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda and pull item 6J off of the consent agenda.
You want to move that to new business?
Correct.
Need a second.
Yeah, I'll second it. I mean, you can also pull it out when we're doing it too, before we do it. So just so you know, when we do a consent agenda, you can pull it out.
Right, consent agenda conversation.
This way,
Was it better just to do that?
it doesn't make any difference. We've already got this one, so let's just. But just.
I mean, like, if you look in the consent agenda, what would be the difference?
No, except you can do it right then as we're doing it.
Amend it?
You can either amend this agenda,
Yeah.
the entire agenda, or you can amend the consent agenda as well.
Yeah, so like before we vote on the consent agenda, we stay on, well, whatever item, it has a separate item right now. But this way is totally fine too.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
We'll leave it as.
Yeah, and I already seconded it, so we have to vote on it now.
Been properly moved and seconded to pull item J from the consent agenda and move to new business. All those in favor state aye.
Okay.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So will be amended. And now move on to visitors' comments. Just Jordan on there?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jordan, you have the floor.
Having nothing to say, just have words. On the open enrollment act. It's nothing to do with the, community itself. It just has to do with inside the classroom activity and other school bus activities. Had quite the bullying incidents last year towards the end of the school year. And I feel that my kids would benefit on moving to a different district. Also with that, there's been reports on school buses of threats, bullying, stealing. I mean, I get that it happens, but also at the same time, should have a little bit better monitoring aspect of it. So just for future reference. And also, the open enrollment would benefit about 2 to 3 of my children out of the 4. Large classrooms is a big distraction for one of them. And the other one, he is kind of a timid kid, and when it comes down to it, all the chaos in the classrooms is not benefiting my children or my family. Our choice was to file open enrollment. I appreciate you guys' time.
Jordan. Now move on to the approval or amendment of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Can now move on to administrator, director, and superintendent reports.
So this on behalf of the Iowa State Fair, I got this letter. It said the Iowa FFA Association and the Iowa State Fair Poultry Committee wanted to write and express their sincere gratitude for the support of our FFA program, specifically Brandon Charlton and Lucas Vance, who participated in the poultry show at the Iowa State Fair. They represented, this letter says, furthermore, that they represented the FFA chapter with pride, showcased valuable knowledge and experience gained from our program. Their participation not only benefited their own lives, but also contributed to the agricultural community we strive to maintain in Iowa. We understand that the support of these co-curricular activities requires significant effort and resources from your school. Please be aware that support plays a critical role in shaping the future of agriculture and developing tomorrow's leaders. And that is from the head of the poultry superintendent, Derek Straub. I thought that was a really nice letter for those kids. Also, we had a group of students acknowledged for winning, I want to say the mechanical division with their work on a tractor and a couple other items, I believe it was. That we had some, they came in, I think, 6th place overall, which is a really nice finish for those kids.
Is that about 99?
So something like.
Yep. So then also many activities kicking off right now. Marching band, tennis, volleyball, football, cross country are all getting underway. So lots of kids engaged in after school activities. enjoying the last bit of summer, but our sports and activities are well underway. This week, the bond campaign committee will meet on Wednesday. A lot of great progress has been made with the help of 53 active community members that are working hard to help get factual information out to the community. So if anyone is interested in attending, please let me know. As for board members, if we have more than 2 that are interested in going, let me know so that way I can make sure we publicly notice the meeting on Wednesday.
Brian, can you also remind us when the first day of school is?
That would be August 25th this year.
That's Monday.
Yep, by state law, we can't meet before the 23rd.
Then those are all full 5 days. Wednesday.
Wednesdays are early.
But the Monday will be full day.
Right, right, yep.
No, we do another meeting between now and then.
We can move on to board committee reports.
Nope.
So we'll move on to new business and action items, which would be the open enrollment we pulled out of consent agenda. Dr. Burnett, would you just give us a rundown of what we had there and we can go through?
Sure, sure. Go back to that. Okay, so the state requires certain open enrollment requests to be granted automatically. And those are the virtual. And then if students move from one district to another, for example, if a student is entering into their junior, senior year and they move from another district, they're allowed to continue in that district. And so those first 5 are automatic recommendations for approval for open enrollment. The virtual academies, 2 individuals going to the Iowa Virtual Academy, 1 going to the Iowa Connections Academy, they're all approved virtual providers by the state. And then we have 2 students that are moved and are requesting to stay in Plainview, Nashua. And then we have the Apple family tonight. And so in reviewing their recommendations, my recommendation would be that we do not approve the request to open enroll out at this point in time. The boxes that were indicated after talking to the principals about the recorded discipline that we have, I'm sure there was problems, but the recorded discipline that we had, it didn't warrant a bullying pattern of behavior, which would be one of the allowable reasons to let students leave the district. And then the preschool special education that you had checked in your documents, your student, it would be a student that is in preschool that has been identified through the child find process or another process. And so it's that preschool year going into kindergarten. That's the intent of that box, unfortunately. And so I believe that student is going into 2nd grade. So it doesn't quite fit that box either. And I know you expressed to me in April that you were interested in moving, and unfortunately, the March 1st was the deadline for those. So my recommendation would be that we deny those 4, and we approve the first 5. And then we had 2 open enrollments into the district.
Dr. Vernon, question for you. So in some of these that are going to the, I think the ones are the Iowa Virtual Academy. What is that exactly?
So originally Iowa had 2 approved schools for online learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is one of those. So it's an online K-12 school, Iowa Virtual Academy, that's what it's called.
Is it run by the state?
No, it's run by a school district, and the school district then gives the company, an outside company. One of them works with K-12, and the other one, I can't remember who, but the other company they work with. But so these 2 districts basically got a deal from the state where they could be the exclusive providers before COVID of online education, and that deal is still in place to this day. And so those districts pass through most of the money to these companies that don't reside in Iowa to provide online education. They do hire teachers that have an Iowa license and do have to meet the Iowa minimum for pays for those teachers. But But then the district gets that district gets a small portion. Those two districts get a small portion of the revenue, so.
So the, that online school is, are they like a virtual class, or are they learning their own, or?
No, I believe it's a virtual classroom, the virtual classrooms with the teacher. I'm not sure the level of, what was the term we used to use during COVID, asynchronous or synchronous, or, yeah, whether they're doing more independent or in person. But they do have, in-person teachers for both those programs.
Are they required to, someone to do sports or extracurricular?
Yes, if they signed up for, those, then they can do sports in our, if the online school doesn't offer sports, which none of them do, then they can do sports in their resident district.
So if a student said it's December, can they move it at half to one of these events? Or only,
We had that last year, several times during the year.
so they can just move it.
They can move whenever they would like to. And they can also move back whenever they would like to.
So let's say an example,
Online.
a family moved into one of the online schools and then decided, this isn't a good fit. My child needs to go back to a brick and mortar. Can they open enroll in any school district then?
No, they come back to their resident district.
Okay.
And then by March 1st, they would have to make a decision if they wanted to go somewhere else.
And if somebody said, okay, well, the school says they're not gonna allow me, but I want to go anyway, what happens?
What?
Online. If the online school denies them because they're filled.
Yeah.
Then that could be a no. We don't have the ability to say no to those based on the state guidelines.
And then if somebody said, and they start school here and they decide, I don't want to go to school anymore, even though it's my resident district, I want to go to Des Moines. So I'm gonna bus my kid down there every morning and bring him back. What happens?
So if they're in our district and they would like to go to Des Moines, they cannot do that unless we
accept.
Right, unless it's, Des Moines would have to accept them, but it'd have to be, so we have the March 1st deadline.
Yep.
So if they said before March 1st, they wanted to go, and Des Moines said, we're filled, then they couldn't go. If Des Moines said, yes, we welcome you, we have room, then we would approve it before March 1st. It's an automatic approval before March 1st without any cause. After March 1st, you have to have one of the 8 good cause exemptions.
And then what about if I know these are lots of questions.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand. So then let's say, somebody said, I don't want to go to Charleston anymore, I want to go to IC. In middle school.
And so for private schools, you can go to a private school at any point in time.
So as long as that private school accepts you.
That's correct.
Thank you. I'm done with all questions.
So I would, if we entertain a motion.
Take a moment.
So I wanna, so the ones that we're talking about here, looking at Jay, the top ones are the people who are being asked, so we're gonna vote on each one of them, or are we voting on all of them at once?
My recommendation is the first 5 are, they're, after review, they're all either required or, well, they're all required reasons why we have to allow people to transfer out.
Okay.
We would not be able to say no. After reviewing the Apple's applications, I don't believe that, I believe that the state would support us in saying at this point in time, they don't meet the criteria.
Okay, so you think the state would say no?
Right, if it came to a review, I believe the state would say,
We can't do it.
right, they would need to stay with us.
So then in that situation, the state would say the student would need to return to their original district, or
If they went to Natural Plainview
Yeah.
and said, we'd like to start, and we said no, and then it went towards that next appeal level.
Yeah.
I believe the state would come in favor of our agreement based on the information provided by the principals and the student history that we have available to us.
okay,
I'll make a motion to approve open and roll out for the top, those 5 students listed, Braden, Gavin, Addison, Jocelyn, and Blaine.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded for the 5 listed students there. All those in favor state aye.
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 All those approved, same sign. That motion carries. Do we need an additional motion to deny remainder or just approve those?
Yeah, we can, I think we need to move to deny when a family requests to go. So we need a motion to deny the remainders.
I'll make a motion to deny Hunter, Gunner, Gage, and Easton open enrollment.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor, state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we can now move on to board policies.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the board policies as presented.
I'll make a motion, I'll second that motion, just the question that I have is, these are all state approved changes that are really like language changes that we have to accept.
Right, that is correct. That is correct. A lot of them had to do with some law changes over the summer.
Right, but it's not like we've sat down and said, we're gonna create a brand new licensed employee individual contract policy and we're gonna do the second read. This is already in place. This is just verbiage.
It's an update to existing policies, that's correct.
Thank you.
Been properly moved and seconded to accept the readings listed here. All those in favor, state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Board comments.
School's coming real soon. This summer slowed by very quickly. Wow.
Did they get the projects out of the high school for the air conditioning?
For the air conditioning in high school.
The big stuff they were working on. Their handlers.
I don't know. I can find out about that.
Yeah. Didn't sound like it had been fully completed yet. They were working on the last problem. They had finished the roof.
Like,
But
will
they
they
have
air conditioning the Briscoe school?
But I can find out for Dairy.
Terry.
Yeah, and I know some of the bigger things that we put on, we delayed because they're part of the larger project now. So that might have included in some cases, a few of those. Because the additional roof mounts that we had approval for $4 million, we're waiting on those in case one of those sections maybe were to be modeled or tore down.
So it's not clear everything.
Right.
Any other comments? Take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. We are adjourned.
Oh, what time's that meeting?
Take comment on.
4:30. 4:30 on Wednesday.
Gage County.
Yeah, Happy Eighth is gonna be there.
I do. I don't know the.
I have not gotten one yet from Matt. He tried to call me today, but I had some parents I was meeting with. So.
Guys, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know, so